turkey dinner with all the fixings. Think stuffing, potatoes, and you can't forget the cranberry sauce could run you into the hundreds. But there are other options to have a great meal without breaking the bank. Let's check one out. Hi, Chef Choi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks. What are you making for us today?
I'm making a budget-friendly Thanksgiving dinner. That is a stuffed chicken thigh with your mirepoix, so celery, onion, and carrot, and a little bit of sage. We're doing a stuffed acorn squash with brown sugar, butter, and feta. And we're doing a really fabulous mashed potatoes. And this is designed to mimic the taste of a stuffed turkey, but without the cost. So I've got my boneless chicken thigh and my bacon, which I've just laid out here on my cutting board. And it's super simple. I've already sliced up a piece of celery, a couple pieces of onion. So you can be generous here if you wish. I'm just doing small bits because it's quick. And we're gonna use one piece here. And then we're just gonna simply roll it up. And it's gonna just become a neat, tidy little bundle. We wanna keep the rolled part to the bottom. So there you are. And then that we'll pop it in the air fryer.
The food that I'm seeing here is typically what people could have in their pantry, in their fridge already, so they don't necessarily have to do a big shop for Thanksgiving.
You know, a turkey is huge, and people buy it, and then a lot of it ends up going to waste or gets thrown into a freezer bag and forgotten about, and then you got another turkey at Christmas again, and you're just wasting. This way, you're not wasting anything, but you're still feeding, you know, a good meal to people. With the stuffed squash, that one's super simple also. It is very sweet because we do stuff it with butter and brown sugar, again, pepper, salt. But then just the feta, that's gonna give you the contrast with the sugar and the sweetness, because these are actually quite sweet. So my mashed potatoes, I've already done in advance, but they are russet potatoes, which has butter, heavy cream, cream cheese, and of course garlic and pepper and white pepper and salt. Those smell good. Oh yeah, that's looking really good. And there we are.
Oh, that's
so you can see the onion there and everything. It looks very pretty.
It smells so great. Amazing. Very moist, still juicy. You're saying this is about $4 a plate versus a turkey dinner would run you $30 to $40 per plate, which could be very costly for some families. So this was not only made on a budget, but it's actually very delicious as well.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us and showing us how to cook. This was great. Thank you so much, Chef.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The next chef we're going to meet is going to make an Indian lentil dish for us that is both affordable and tasty. Tell me what we have in front of us. What are we about to cook here?
Okay, so we're going unconventional for Thanksgiving. This is going to turn into an amazing dish called dal makhani, which is a North Indian dish. It's a lentil dish, it's vegetarian. By the by, dal makhani, it's lentils, so lentils is dal. Makhani means buttery or butter. So one of the key ingredients is butter. I've got clarified butter and whole butter here. So what I'll do is I'll start by just melting my clarified butter. So I'm just gonna saute my onions and ginger and garlic and chilies right now in my melting clarified butter, which is already smelling great, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna throw in a little bit of salt, and then I'll be adding my tomatoes, and then I've got a bunch of spices that we'll use in this dish.
Okay.
What's cool about this dish is we're using whole spices. Put my cloves, my cinnamon, I'll put the turmeric in now as well, and the cumin seeds. Let's add our tomato. So I just took that tomato, I pureed it. I'm gonna add some tomato paste as well. So this is, as I said, a lentil dish, and although these little black things don't look like lentils, they are. And they call them urad dal, or black gram lentils in India. And it's just a really nice creamy lentil. What I do is I soak my beans. I soak those lentils as well. Usually you don't have to soak lentils, but I soak those because they have a thick skin. Soak them overnight, and then I boil them in water the next day. And I threw in a clove of garlic and a bay leaf just to give it a little flavor. And what I end up with is the beans that are softened, but also a sort of bean stock, which I'll be using as a cooking liquid here. So I mashed up my beans. They've already been soaked. They've already, and add a little liquid. So this is looking a little thick right now. That is okay. It's supposed to. Just add some of my liquid. So what I'm going to do is bring it to a boil and then turn it down and simmer. So these will get really creamy because I mashed the beans a little bit. They're going to want to stick to the bottom of the pan, so you kind of need to mind this. But the nice thing is it's only half an hour. And
Okay, so now it has been simmering for,
let's say it's been simmering for half an hour.
Half an hour, and this is how it should look.
And this is, yeah, it could look even a little bit, ideally I'd have added a little more tomato for the color. I'm going to add some of this fenugreek, the dried fenugreek. So let's add a little bit of this palm sugar. I'm going to add some of this cream. We'll see what we feel like adding. And let's add that glop of butter too. Let's dig in. Well, it's very creamy. You can taste the chili for sure. I think I'd add a little bit more salt.
What would you usually pair this with if you were serving this dish? Would you pair it with some rice or bread?
Absolutely, yeah. So you would want some kind of rice or naan.
If we had to estimate, would we know how much this would cost per plate? A couple dollars? Would that be fair?
Maybe, I mean, this would be part of an overall meal, probably about $2 to $3.
Okay.
High
protein, delicious, so it checks all the boxes.
Exactly,
as well.
and it's, you know, it's a little bit of a change from turkey.